little quick core, assuming that we're not going to use any equipment today. But I am totally going to utilize this bench, something I don't always have. But if you have a stable chair, if it's pushed up against the wall, we can totally use that. So let's go ahead and get a little bit warmed up. So the first thing I want to do just to warm up is we're going to take your hands and just put your hands together and do some nice giant circles. So let's go feet nice and wide. And we're going to go 10 of these to the right, 10 to the left. I want you to go as low as you can and as high as you can, just reaching up and around. All right, and we're going to change directions. All right, and that usually gets me pretty warm. Let's interlace your fingers this way, and we're just going to sink your hips back and do a little side to side. Actually, I'll kind of come sideways here so you can see a little bit more. I'm really going to put that hip way far back and reach straight over. Get a nice inner thigh stretch as we get those shoulders moving a little bit more. I'm just going to go one more to each side. All right, and let's go ahead and shake those arms out. And then all we're going to do, the last little quick warm-up thing is go palms up, and you're just going to step backwards, squeeze the shoulder blades. So from the side, a little bit more like that, nice big step back, squeeze those shoulder blades. Okay, kind of opening up the chest. Keep your head nice and neutral. All right, one more on each side. And we are going to call that warm. All right, we're going to keep going with the legs. So again, if you've got a chair, you want to use like a wall or something like that. What I'm going to have you do here is I'm going to take one hand standing on this leg. I want you to extend the other leg as far back as you can and reach towards the opposite foot. Now, if you can only get to your knee or your shin, that's fine. I'm definitely going to use 2 fingers for balance here and then come back to just with your toe on the ground. Okay, so again, we're reaching with the opposite hand, reaching that back leg back. When you come back up, just tap that toe on the ground. Okay, let's do 5 of those on each side. I know that was 3. We're going to call that 2 because I was talking. Let's get, okay, now 2 more. And 2. All right, now you're going to get the back view of that. So again, reaching that back leg back, you bend that knee, stop with just the toe right there. Reaching with the opposite hand, if you have a little balance issue like that, that's why we have the bench or the chair right there. And let's get one more. All right, go ahead and shake your arms out. And again, if you've got your chair, your bench, your sturdy coffee table, whatever you might have, let's go hands there. Okay, we're going to take our feet nice and close. And the first thing we're going to do is with your glutes squeezed, your body in a nice straight line, we're going to alternate and try to lift one hand at a time. Straight in front, so thumbs facing the ceiling. Try to keep your rest of your body as still and steady as you can. All right, let's get 3 more on each side. You should feel some core activation there. If you start to feel your lower back, that's okay. But if there's anything uncomfortable, I want you to lift your hips just a little bit. All right, I'm going to widen my grip on the bench. And then from here, we're going to just lift one leg at a time. Okay, squeeze that back glute, alternate, lift the other one. And let's go one more on each side. All right, we're gonna keep supporting right here. And all I want you to do is keeping your hands right underneath your shoulders. You're gonna let your elbows go back. We're gonna do a mini push-up. We're not going real far. Elbows just go to your side and push straight back up. Okay, let's do 3 more of those. And 3. All right, let's bring it right back up here. Now I'm gonna take one hand and we're gonna go into an elevated side plank. Most comfortable position is going to be with your feet staggered. If you want to get a little more balance challenge, you can stack them up on top of each other. I'm going to bring this arm up towards the ceiling and then wrap it down and bring it back up. If you are more comfortable, you could also do this with your elbow on the chair. That makes it actually more challenging, but it's a little bit easier on the wrist. And one more. That's a lot more challenging. Come up back into that tall plank position before we go to the other side. And now I want you to bring one arm out to the side. Okay, we're gonna do 5 of those on each side before we do the side plank on the other side. Try to keep those feet a little closer together. If you need to, you can take them farther apart, as that will give you a little more stability. All right, and let's take this plank to the other side. Can you pick elbow or hand? And one more. All right, let's bring it back to the middle. And now we're gonna get a little bit more challenging. So maybe bring your hands a little closer to each other and we're gonna try to lift opposite arm and leg. If that's too much, pick one or the other. Let's see if we can do 5 opposite arm and leg lifts. And 5. All right, I'm actually now gonna flip it over and we're gonna do a reverse plank. So this is kind of like a dip, but all you're gonna do is bring your legs out straight. You're gonna squeeze your glutes and we're gonna hold right here. Okay, I'm just gonna count to 10. All right, let's go ahead and bring those legs back in. And now we're actually gonna take it to the floor. We're gonna get a little more glute action. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay down on the floor. I never get the ponytail in the right spot. That's okay. All right, so I want you to take your hands, interlace your fingers, and let's go ahead and put them right over your chest. Okay, from here, we're gonna do an alternating leg lift. I want you to squeeze with the glutes. If you're feeling the front of your thighs, you need to drop your hips just a little bit. So you're pushing up with the glutes rather than pulling up with the thighs. So keeping the hands right here, we're gonna alternate, extend one leg at a time and try to hold for 3 seconds on each side, pushing through your heel so you feel that glute muscle turn on. Okay, let's get 5 of those on each side with a brief hold. And 5. All right, then we are gonna flip over onto your stomach. And from here, you can lift your feet as well if you want to. I'm going to take my elbows towards my sides, thumbs are right on your shoulders, and you're going to reach straight over your head. Okay, let's get 10 of those. Squeeze those shoulder blades, reach over your head. Keep the glutes nice and squeezed as well. Don't let those glutes relax. All right, now let's take those hands, keeping those glutes activated. You can keep your neck in a nice neutral position. Don't crank it too much. I'm going into this nice T position, squeezing the shoulder blades. All I'm going to do is rotate my hands so I'm palms up and then rotate them back. Okay, we're going to do 10 just like that. Don't let the glutes relax. Those shoulders should be starting to talk to you. All right, you're not off the hook yet. Last thing we're going to do with the shoulders, reach as far straight over your head as you can and bring the arms back to your sides. Palms stay facing the floor. Let's get 10 of those. If your head starts to feel a little heavy, it's because it is, just kidding. You can drop your head a little bit lower. All right, bring your hands right in here next to your sides, and we're gonna push all the way up into a tall plank position now on the floor. Okay, and from here, all I want you to do is you're gonna sink your shoulders down, round them back up, sink them down, round them up, and sink them down again. And actually, let's go ahead and we're gonna bend your knees. And notice I'm hovering over the ground. My knees are not touching the floor. At least I'm trying not to let them touch the floor. And then from here, we're gonna try an alternating arm lift. It's a lot harder than it looks. Try to keep your knees as close to the floor as you can without actually touching. Let's get 3 more on each side. And 3. All right, let's bring it down. And we're gonna flip back over once again. Before we work our glutes again, I would like you to bring your knees into a tabletop position. Arms are coming straight up. If you want to lift your head slightly, you can. I want you to think about pressing your lower back into the floor. And we're going to extend opposite arm and leg. Come all the way back. Extend the other side. Okay, actively pressing your lower back down into the floor. A slight head lift will mean that you feel a lot more core engagement, but you'll get plenty with your head on the floor as well. Okay, let's get 5 more of those on each side. We're going to do those glute bridges one more time, and then we might call it a day. And last one. All right, let's go ahead and lift those glutes again. Remember, we're keeping hands right here over your chest, and we're going to do 5 lifts on each side. But with each lift, again, we're going to hold for a few seconds. Okay, making sure you're pushing through your heel and you're feeling mostly your glute. Again, if you're feeling your quad, drop your hip just a little. You should be feeling some glutes here. All right, last one on this side. And last one on this side. But I want you to keep your glutes in the air. We can do whatever we want with our hands. Let's reach them maybe over your head. All I want you to do is squeeze those glutes, and we are going to count to 30. Yes, I said 30. Let's go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right, in order to get up, I am going to roll over, go back into that tall plank position, press up. All I want you to do is walk your hands towards your feet and go ahead and roll up, reach up, almost landed up on the bed there. That's okay. All right, awesome.